Hey, what's up guys, Mikey here. Ever since I upgraded to the Switch 2, I have not used my Switch OLED once. So I put it in storage until I know what I want to do with it. And ever since, I also cannot find my debit card at all. Well, at least I'll know for the new year to not store my debit card in the Switch dock. The Lost Mattress is the episode where SpongeBob and Patrick give Mr. Krabs a new mattress when his back hurts and Squidward gets rid of the old one, not realizing all of Mr. Krabs' money was in the mattress. This episode aired on May 13, 2005, and is the first time Patrick Star appears in Season 4, making it 3 episodes in where we finally see him, a new record for a season. This one also features the notorious continuity error of Mr. Krabs sleeping on a mattress, despite us seeing he sleeps in a hammock before and after this episode, and we barely see the mattress again in the series after this. Now I remember seeing this back in the day, and always noticed the continuity breaks, as well as how smart Patrick is here. And shockingly, I thought they all worked pretty well in this episode. Unlike most modern episodes where I see the continuity issues as so glaring I can't look past them, or a nitpick that I couldn't help but notice, but I do think takes away from the episode in some way, regardless of how the episode turns out. But we'll discuss how this works soon enough. I've seen people say this is one of the better episodes this season, and I always really liked this one. So let's watch this episode and see how well it holds up. So the episode starts up and Big Ben is seen on Squidward's watch, and he's late for work. When he got there, it was locked because Mr. Krabs didn't arrive yet, and SpongeBob was sad.
You mean I got out of bed for nothing?
You and me both, brother. Then Mr. Krabs arrived looking very tired. He dropped his keys and snapped at SpongeBob. He apologized for yelling, but his back was killing him due to him trying to sleep on his old worn mattress. SpongeBob felt sorry for Mr. Krabs and wanted to get him a new mattress as a surprise gift, but Squidward didn't really feel like it because of how rich and skinflint Mr. Krabs is. SpongeBob was so worried about the Krusty Krab being closed, and yet he's the last one to go inside. Later on, Patrick went with SpongeBob to a mattress store. When they arrived, they saw plenty more than 10 mattresses, and there was a montage of them trying out different ones until they found a mattress that worked for them. At the Krusty Krab, Squidward found SpongeBob and Patrick making a card for Mr. Krabs to go with his new mattress. Squidward thought SpongeBob was kissing up to the boss to make Squidward look bad, so he signed the card himself despite Patrick claiming Squidward didn't help pay. That night, Mr. Krabs lay down on his mattress and noticed it wasn't lumpy. SpongeBob, Patrick, and Squidward surprised him by telling him about his new mattress, and Squidward said he had the old mattress hauled off to the dump. But all of Mr. Krabs' money was in the mattress. And yet, Mr. Krabs still complained about his bad back being caused by his mattress. He started to go crazy and he passed out. They rushed him to the hospital, but the doctor said he was in a cash coma and the only thing that would save his life was the return of his money. Squidward said the new mattress was SpongeBob's idea, but a police officer brought up Squidward's signature saying it was his idea and threatened to send Squidward to jail if Mr. Krabs didn't survive. Maybe explaining why he wrote that on the card would just make Squidward's case worse. But then again, he never truly lied to the cop's face, so it's hard to tell. So they all agree to go to the dump and get the mattress back. At the dump, they found the mattress underneath a giant sleeping guard worm. Back at the hospital, Mr. Krabs had no insurance, so they put him on a gurney and rolled him in front of the snack machine. Squidward made a plan to have SpongeBob and Patrick get the mattress back from underneath the guard worm, warning them how vicious those worms could be. Squidward said he was going to keep watch to make sure things were okay from the other side of the fence. As SpongeBob and Patrick climbed up, they got distracted by the view of the dump, and Squidward got impatient and shook the fence, causing it to flip over, and everybody was on opposite sides to where they were, and Squidward got attacked by the guard worm. I've actually had nightmares where I was attacked by a friend's dog. No joke. Meanwhile, back at the hospital, 2 doctors had the nurse move Mr. Krabs away from the vending machine and place him on the sidewalk outside the hospital. At the dump, SpongeBob and Patrick snuck in and communicated with Squidward through shell-shaped walkie-talkies. Squidward was the retriever to haul off with the mattress, while SpongeBob and Patrick, with their codename Wormbait, bait the worm. So SpongeBob and Patrick make noise to bait the worm, and they soon discover why their codename was Wormbait. Took them long enough. The worm scared them so bad, but he was soon distracted by SpongeBob's wooden spoon. SpongeBob played fetch with it, but the spoon accidentally hit Squidward. He put it away saying he would need one, and soon got attacked by the guard worm again. What the hell did he need a wooden spoon for? At the hospital, Administrator Flotsam called the doctor out for leaving Mr. Krabs on the sidewalk, so the nurse kicked his gurney away and it rolled down the hill. Back at the dump, the sun was rising. Squidward's next plan was to dress SpongeBob and Patrick up as meat with steak sauce as cologne to get the worm to attack and chase them away. Squidward claimed it was just a Halloween-related plan to get the worm to leave and buy candy. Just then, Mr. Krabs rolled down the hill on the gurney and was flung right by the mattress and the guard worm. But the smell of the money woke him up and he flung the guard worm away. Mr. Krabs saw SpongeBob and Patrick in the Choice Cuts costumes, the guard worm chases Squidward again, and the episode ends. So that's why people don't dress up as meat on Halloween, but vegetables are fair play. So that was the Lost Mattress, and that is a really fun episode. First up, let's talk about the continuity examples / errors. As I previously stated, Mr. Krabs has been shown to sleep on a hammock and not a mattress. I believe the first example of this was episode 17, Squeaky Boots from season 1. And up to this point in the show, I don't believe that he was shown sleeping on a mattress. And yet, here the mattress was shown and was the whole plot of the episode. This one breaks the continuity for the story to work. But this is one of the times where a continuity break makes the episode still work more than fine in my opinion. Something else that I noticed with that as a kid, but it truly hit me after this rewatch, was that in episode 114, Plankton's Army from season 3, Mr. Krabs kept the Krabby Patty formula hidden at home under his mattress, and Squidward guesses it perfectly.
It's at home, under your mattress.
Curse you, Squidward!
I wonder if the writers decided to take that line and crap this whole episode out of that. Because if they did, then that's pretty neat and I love that attention to detail. It makes me not want to nitpick that continuity error anymore. Now on the other hand, this is something that I always notice, but I don't see nearly as many people talk about. In episode 111, Krabbyland from season 3, Mr. Krabs says this when he's confronted by the children.
Uncle Krabs has to go to the bank now!
Meaning he's clearly heard of a bank. But in this episode, he didn't believe in banks, which is why he had his money in his mattress.
Haven't you ever heard of a bank?
No!
Yeah, I don't believe in wallets, and that's why I store my debit card in my Switch OLED dock. And subsequently, why I don't have one right now. I always thought it was strange Mr. Krabs said he never heard of a bank, and that's why he kept the money in his mattress. I get he didn't want to buy a new mattress because he was cheap, but it's weird that he never heard of a bank despite mentioning it in front of other people before. A better excuse would be he didn't want his money to get stolen because of how often banks get robbed, and the episode would still work just fine with this context and the continuity breaks. But that's it. That's my biggest criticism. I could say that it's strange that Squidward thought SpongeBob was trying to make Squidward look bad to the boss when we know Squidward couldn't give a single f*** about his job at the Krusty Krab. But this also works so much better than the previous continuity examples because of Squidward always wanting to prove he can handle anything SpongeBob can. Like in episode 33, The Paper from season 1, where he wanted to have more fun than SpongeBob when he played with the titular paper. Or episode 112, the camping episode from season 3, when he claimed SpongeBob saying,
"Have fun inside,"
was SpongeBob saying Squidward couldn't handle the outdoors, which obviously wasn't true. And here, SpongeBob genuinely cared about Mr. Krabs' back and wanted to help him out. And Squidward just wanted to outdo SpongeBob when he heard about this, but was stopped at every attempt in this episode. And despite the slits with continuity, there are some actual examples of true continuity, whether intentional or not. Like at the beginning when Squidward says,
Wow, I'm really late again. Maybe they'll finally fire me.
Not only does that feel in character, but he was also shown to be late when clocking in back in episode 116, SpongeBob Meets a Strangler from season 3.
On time percentage, 12%.
Moving on from the details, there is so much more to like here. The sequences at the hospital where Mr. Krabs' situation becomes worse are hilarious. My mom is a nurse, and I can confirm that she has been asked to do shit like that numerous times before. I like the montage of SpongeBob and Patrick trying out different mattresses. I like seeing Mr. Krabs freak out when he lost all his money. I like how SpongeBob is overly dramatic and then happy at the beginning. This works well, and it didn't feel too forced or over the top, and it doesn't overstay its welcome. I like how this episode is serious, where Mr. Krabs needs his money back so he'll survive his coma, but it still manages to be funny throughout. It's a good balance of tone that this episode pulls off really well. And I like all the various attempts to get the mattress back from the dump. Especially the second attempt when SpongeBob and Patrick make noise and SpongeBob and Squidward talk through the walkie-talkies.
Understood. Out.
No, in! Out!
Understood. Out.
All the characters are so strong in this episode. SpongeBob wanting to give Mr. Krabs a new mattress because he's in so much pain is very nice. I love Squidward constantly trying to get SpongeBob and or Patrick out of the picture, only for the attempts to backfire so badly every single time. Squidward is also classic Squidward, trying to upstage SpongeBob, and when he claims he did everything himself, things unintentionally get worse and he blames his doings on SpongeBob. I like how he tries to threaten to murder SpongeBob, but he can't do it in front of the officer. Pretty dark and not holding back, damn. While we never see the old mattress get hauled away on screen, I wouldn't doubt that this was Squidward's actual doing, since he was about to take the mattress away himself during his second plan. I like Mr. Krabs here too. Even though he snaps at SpongeBob here, I still like that he apologizes and he only got frustrated because of his back pain. My dad had similar pains like that all the time, and sometimes he got short-tempered from it, but it was totally fair for him to get frustrated from his back pains, and everything else that was going on around him didn't help that much, especially with work. And of course, Patrick. Patrick is one of the best parts of this episode. I love how he's able to see right through Squidward's bullshit, calling him out for trying to steal SpongeBob's idea, and noticing the bad side of several of Squidward's plans to get the mattress back. He often has shown sides of being smart in previous episodes, like in episode 9, Boating School from season 1, where he knows all the steps to help SpongeBob drive a boat and helps communicate them to him. This is probably one of the best examples of how Patrick can actually be smarter than he is aware of, and not have it be forced when a story requires it. And even so, it's never really felt forced to me so far in the show. I really love that. I'd argue Patrick is the real MVP of this episode, and I wish that the later seasons remembered that Patrick is allowed to have common sense every now and then. Maybe then the Patrick show could actually be watchable. At the same time, he feels very classic Patrick, like when he brings up the card they drew for him after he had his first freak out, and when he thinks the mattress store has only 10 mattresses in stock, and this line right here.
Trick or treat!
Overall, this is an awesome episode of the show. All the characters are so strong and in character, especially Patrick. I love how serious the episode gets while still managing to keep it funny, and even the slips in continuity still work in the episode's favor. And knowing how seriously I take SpongeBob's continuity, it's great if the episode breaks that in a way that makes it work better. I really have no huge complaints here. But I do have this to say.
I'm just doubled over in pain, fighting back tears in my eyes because it's a new dance craze!
If that really is a dance craze, it's still better than any dance you'd see on screens these days. Have you ever dared to see them?
Nope. But once you see them, you can't unsee them. The Lost Mattress is such a fun episode. I think it's great, and it can definitely be considered one of the best episodes of Season 4, and can probably stand toe-to-toe with some of the best episodes of the whole series. Oh wait, actually I forgot. As well written as SpongeBob himself is in this episode, I always wish he was a lawyer instead.
Krabs vs. Plankton is the episode where Plankton slips on the wet, crusty crab floor and decides to sue Mr. Krabs for everything he owns and get the Krabby Patty formula. Like The Lost Mattress, this episode aired on May 13, 2005 and features SpongeBob as a lawyer.
Oh, thank God.
This episode also features the first implication of Mr. Krabs and Plankton's childhood friendship.
Say hello to my once good friend, Mr. Krabs, what?
There was a line in the SpongeBob SquarePants movie where Plankton says he and Mr. Krabs were dear friends when he was being interviewed by Perch Perkins, but he was clearly putting on a show when being interviewed. This, in my opinion, is the first authentic mention of any kind of true friendship between him and Mr. Krabs. This will be expanded on much more in later years, most notably rather soon in episode 156, Friend or Foe from season 5. While unimportant, that line will really go on to flesh out their relationship and history as the series goes on. We also see the core group for the first time in this episode, which I almost wish shows up more often, especially with all the laws that really aren't abided by Bikini Bottom. So with that out of the way, let's watch this episode so I can experience what I always wanted for the last minute.
But before we do, I need to say something. I know nothing about the legal system, so if any of you real lawyers or judges or whoever get offended at the comments I make about this episode, please forgive me.
So the episode starts up and Plankton wakes up after not sleeping after failing to steal a Krabby Patty.
or because he slept on the mattress without any blankets or a pillow. He decides to just wing it this time, and it all goes well until he doesn't watch where he's going and falls on the floor after SpongeBob mopped it. Mr. Krabs comes in and taunts Plankton over failing over and over again to steal the formula. Not to play devil's advocate, but if Plankton wings it more often and actually watches where he's going, he might really be able to steal the formula. Some customers comment on the lack of a wet floor sign, and one says that if he slipped, he would sue Mr. Krabs. This gives Plankton an idea where he pretends that his arms and legs were broken so he could sue. Everybody else believed Plankton's agony, but SpongeBob and Mr. Krabs were worried. As the paramedics took Plankton away, Plankton says he dropped the charges and Mr. Krabs gave him the formula. But Mr. Krabs refused to agree, so that meant the court it was. Mr. Krabs thought he was doomed, but luckily a lawyer named Richard A. Bottomfeeder showed up and offered to represent Mr. Krabs in court, and he said he wouldn't charge anything unless they win the case, much to Mr. Krabs' ecstasy. Doesn't that mean he will charge Mr. Krabs if they win the case? SpongeBob wanted to share his testimony, but Mr. Krabs didn't think he'd need testimony from SpongeBob, leaving him disappointed. Right after Mr. Krabs left for the courthouse, Richard slipped and fell on the wet floor and was too injured to defend Mr. Krabs. He had to leave it up to SpongeBob and gave him his briefcase, which had everything SpongeBob would need to win the case, but not a suit, which SpongeBob clearly grabbed from Richard. Later at the courthouse, Plankton showed up and tricked the crowd into thinking Mr. Krabs hurt Plankton even more, making Mr. Krabs look worse. The case started with the Honorable Judge Stickleback presiding. SpongeBob arrived late as Mr. Krabs' attorney, introducing himself as SpongeBob Lawyer Pants. Damn, that's all it takes to become a lawyer these days? SpongeBob explained to Mr. Krabs that Richard got injured, but he had everything he needed in the briefcase, except the combo to open it. Plankton gave his opening statement, claiming how he used to be so happy-go-lucky before he got injured. As SpongeBob tried to open the briefcase, Plankton shared in a very exaggerated way how he went into the Krusty Krab and got injured from slipping without a warning in terms of a wet floor sign. SpongeBob couldn't open the case, and Plankton ended his speech by saying he couldn't fulfill a promise he made to his grandma now that he was injured, successfully getting the jury on his side via emotion. Even SpongeBob and the judge were saddened by the fake sob story. Mr. Krabs went to the stand, and Plankton made him admit that he didn't own a wet floor sign. He said to the jury that the sign seemed superfluous, but they did not like that whatsoever. SpongeBob came up and talked about Mr. Krabs being called cheap, and decided to test that by obliterating a dollar bill in a blender, which Mr. Krabs failed. Was that even one of Mr. Krabs' own dollars? SpongeBob then called Squidward to the stand, and he said that Mr. Krabs was cheap and didn't have any examples of him being generous to share, and said that he was spending his first day off in 3 years testifying, making Mr. Krabs look worse than ever. Then SpongeBob started interrogating the mop, which helped nothing. Mr. Krabs thought he was doomed, but SpongeBob told him not to give up, and accidentally opened the briefcase, revealing that all that was in there was a Krabby Patty. So SpongeBob got the idea of calling Plankton to the stand. Plankton tried to keep a straight face, but SpongeBob dangled the Krabby Patty in front of him until Plankton couldn't resist, revealing he faked his injury and tried to make off with the Krabby Patty until he was stopped by Mr. Krabs. And the jury decided Mr. Krabs wasn't guilty, but cheap. Isn't he still guilty for not fully abiding by all the labor regulations that shocked the jury? Mr. Krabs apologized to SpongeBob for not accepting his help from the beginning. SpongeBob forgave him and gave him his own homemade wet floor sign with nails. And Mr. Krabs accepted it since it was free, and the episode ends. And we still never see that wet floor sign again in the future. So that was Krabs vs. Plankton, and this is another fun episode. I really like how Plankton's plan this time involves suing Mr. Krabs for something that Plankton isn't fully in the wrong to do so. Sure, other episodes had the wet floor sign, but this one doesn't. And even without it in this instance, I do like how the episode rolls with it. It does still highlight Mr. Krabs' greed and how he doesn't always treat his employees well, really creating some stakes here, making it seem like he might actually be sentenced as guilty and Plankton would get his way. I like how everybody visibly hates Mr. Krabs as the episode goes on, when the jurors react in disgust over SpongeBob obliterating the dollar, and when everybody in court is shocked over Squidward not getting any days off in 3 years, showing they're actually taking Squidward's side for once, unlike other episodes. As much as I dread jury duty, I like the look of this courtroom, and I wish it was shown more often given how often SpongeBob characters do illegal shit.
I really love that this episode doesn't feel like it's playing down to kids and shares a little about how a courtroom operates, like how it uses some technical dialogue throughout.
I'll forget your gross negligence.
Need I remind you that you, sir, are under oath?
1 day off in 3 years and I have to spend it testifying?
The Honorable Judge Stickleback presiding.
Whether or not this case is realistic by a real lawyer's standards, as this is a case involving sea creatures talking in English, this episode still taught me words like plaintiff, defendant, jury reaching a verdict, superfluous, etc. when I was a kid. It doesn't waste time explaining what the terms mean, but it does get the point across pretty well for the most part. It also shows how somebody can actually sue if they got injured in a place of business due to someone else's carelessness. That is why these guys said they would sue Mr. Krabs since he didn't have a wet floor sign on display. And why Mr. Krabs knew he was doomed since he knew he was in the wrong for not having a wet floor sign. I like the running gag of the characters slipping on the wet floor in the Krusty Krab, and the brief moment of SpongeBob yelling at the mop when he's on the stand. I love how hard SpongeBob tries to open the case throughout the episode, and my favorite gag is this part.
Bombs away!
I love how Plankton manages to trick everybody into thinking how he was so happy before he got injured and Mr. Krabs hurting him right before the court started. He's so small, it's actually hard to tell how injured he truly is from a distance or when he's not fully in view, so it works pretty well. And Mr. Krabs snapping at him in public doesn't help either at this point. Even when Plankton revealed his true intentions, I love that the jury still doesn't fully like Mr. Krabs for all the crap he's done. I like the character of Richard A. Bonafeeder quite a bit. I love how he immediately agreed to be Mr. Krabs' lawyer, almost as if he actually holds a grudge against Plankton, since he also suggested to countersue for everything Plankton owns, and he clearly knew that the Krabby Patty in the briefcase would make Plankton give in to his urges. It would have been neat if he actually revealed if he had a bad history with Plankton and that's why he decided to be Mr. Krabs' lawyer immediately, and it would have been cool to see him again in the future, or just see him in action in the courtroom, but I digress. I like how determined SpongeBob is to keep Plankton from winning the case and how he tries to open this case. I like when Mr. Krabs is the most shocked at Squidward calling him cheap and when Squidward just tells it like it is about Mr. Krabs, and I like how it was implied that SpongeBob stole Richard's suit and left him with barely any clothes while SpongeBob handled the case. Even though Mr. Krabs was in the wrong for not accepting SpongeBob's help from the start, I like when he apologizes at the end, as well as his reaction to seeing SpongeBob in court for the first time.
What are you doing here, SpongeBob?
Your lawyer, fell down on the job.
I really like this episode as a whole. It's a more unique setting for one of the Plankton's Plan episodes, and it's cool how it uses some technical dialogue that kids may not have any clue about. I like that this doesn't talk down to kids either, showing how things do get worse for Mr. Krabs, and it's in a more public setting for more people to see, making it seem like he might actually be f***ed this time. The characters here are awesome, and it's got its funny moments all the same. It's a great balance of having funny moments while still making it feel as real as it can for being a cartoon courtroom. It's a great watch, and it's one of the most underrated episodes of the series in my opinion.
Krabs vs. Plankton is another fun episode. The stakes are different than usual, and it doesn't feel sugar-coated when things are looking bleak for Mr. Krabs. It teaches some things about a trial in a court of law, while still maintaining a good balance and making sure the kids don't get lost or confused by all the technical dialogue they use here. It always kept my attention throughout. It's a really good episode, and I wish it got more love than it does these days. And now that I know what it takes to be a lawyer thanks to SpongeBob in this one, I'm going to do something different and see if I can become a real lawyer for a change.
One case later.
I'm no longer welcome in a courtroom. But hey, at least this means I can't get summoned for jury duty again.